Hey, what's up everyone? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we're looking at my newest custom, which is a new Deadpool figure. And I'm going to answer the question that everybody keeps asking me, which is, why'd you make another Deadpool? And it's the same answer for any figure I make. It's because a customer asked for it. The only figures I make are commissions, which means I'm only making figures that people ask for. So if you don't think I should make any more Deadpools, too bad. I'm going to keep making them as long as people keep asking for them. I like the character and I like making the figures, and I like making figures that customers want, and this is one of them. So there it is. That's why I made it, if you're curious. He is a basic Marvel Legends figure. He used the Shield Agent body, so he stands almost exactly 6.5 inches tall. He has two interchangeable heads. This one here, which is a reshaped Hasbro Deadpool head. I reshaped the jaw and mouth area because they have it really boxy. I don't really care for it too much, so I reshaped that one. And then I also have a shrunken down Bowen head, which is that one, which looks too small at first in comparison to this one, just because this one's bigger. But after a couple seconds, I think this one kind of sets in and looks pretty accurate for being that style of Deadpool. Oftentimes in comic books, the comic book characters' heads are smaller than the human anatomy actually is in real life. About 7.5 to 8 heads tall is what the superhero body is, whereas a normal person is about 6 heads tall. 6 to 6.5, something like that. So having a smaller head on a superhero, or this type of character especially, is just fine. And the customer liked it, and that's what he wanted, so that's what he got. So that's the shrunken down Bowen head, and this is the Hasbro head. So, hey, the cat's gonna make an appearance. He hasn't done that in a while. Alright, so how I made the figure, like I said, it's a Shield Agent body. I sculpted some straps on the hands because I didn't like the gloves that he comes with. And if you look at the figure, he actually doesn't have any extra thickness to the wrist. It's just at the very end, so if you sculpt over that, the wrist is actually the right thickness and everything, so that's good. I added the piping, or the seam work, all the way around all the red, using my wire insulation. And no, I can't go into any more detail about that. That's one of my secrets. A magician never reveals his secrets, so don't bother asking. I can't go into any more detail than I have in previous videos, unfortunately. This Y harness, or 3-point harness, is made out of Mr. Sinister cape straps, so is the belt. And then I just added the shoulder piece from, actually that's a Marvel Universe Deadpool. I thought it looked good on there. I didn't want it to be too bulky. I added some pouches throughout. I added a buckle there and a little part of the belt right there. And the cat's destroying the backdrop. Hey, what are you doing? He's comfy though. That's all he cares about. Alright, so back to Deadpool. Then I just used some neoprene to make this strap up here around his neck. Put a buckle on that. The sword holders are actually the boot knife, this thing from the face-off Punisher figure that I sculpted over, added the strap and added the supports in there to make those nice and sturdy, so those are for the swords. That way, as you can tell, it's not real bulky once you take the swords out. I prefer it that way. I added the shoulder holster here for the weapon by using a neoprene sheeting and just wrapping it around the way I wanted it, and then connecting it to it actually wraps it around this strap to make it nice and sturdy. And then I used a little bit of metal to create like a buckle for that right there. So that holds the gun. And of course all the weapons are removable. No point in having them if they're not. This holster here, or the thigh holster, is actually the chest holster from the Shield Agent harness, so I just relocated that and removed the pouch that was on there. Used the straps that were there, used the straps that were there, left the knife thing on there, put some Sinister cape straps on his ankles, and then I put some Shield Agent straps on his feet there for the buckles, and I think that covers, well no, that's the same thing really, is the piping down the center. That's just more of the seam work stuff. The trick to this is to make sure there's enough clearance for the articulation to move without scraping all of the paint off of the piping. So that's a little tricky, but I think it pays off because having the seam work on there makes the figure just look so much better, I think anyway, and apparently the customers do too. So what would Deadpool be without accessories, right? I know that's the question you were thinking. And since I like making Deadpool accessories a little bit unique usually, this one has something I've never done before, but I thought it was fitting for the character. I made, well, let's just go through the accessories first. I'll show that other part last. So painted up one of the newer sniper rifles from the Hasbro Marvel Legends. It's got some different shading on there, some red, some black. Nothing too fancy there, just painted up the weapons. I find that a little bit goes a long way with the painted weapons. As long as you make them look a little bit better, they look a lot better because they have really nice sculpts typically. So just a little bit of paint goes a long way on these things. And I noticed a lot of people, they make customs and they don't paint the accessories. You might as well, you already painted the figure, you might as well paint the accessories. So he's got, what did I show off? I showed the sniper, the shotgun. Here's a little sawed-off shotgun, or sawn-off shotgun. Another rifle, standard Marvel Legends rifle. We've seen that a million times, but it works. Here's one of these smaller, I always forget the name of this thing. Whatever, it's a machine pistol from one of the newer Hasbro figures. Some nunchucks that I put a chain on instead of the rope. And here's a little flashbang grenade. I think this is from a Resident Evil figure if memory serves. Had it left over, so I painted it up a little bit and figured that would make a nice accessory for Deadpool. And you can actually pull the pin out, which is a nice touch. I don't want to, well, I'll pull it out, what the heck. Hopefully I can get it back in on camera. And I can. Woohoo! And the last of the handheld accessories is a baseball bat, which I got from one of the McFarlane figures. And then I made it look like Deadpool painted his logo on it. There's a little bit of paint running there. So that was fun. Little baseball bat for Deadpool to whack some people with. And then because he needs to carry his accessory somehow, transport him somehow from battle to battle, I gave him a radio flyer that I made look all beat up and everything, and it's fully functional, and you can just pack all of his gear in there and he can take that along with him. It is to scale, and I know it's kind of a silly accessory, but I think it suits Deadpool very well. It seems like the kind of thing he would do. You see him walk up in the middle of a fight with a wagon full of guns and grenades and stuff. Oh, I also have a knife. Where'd the knife go? I lost the knife. There's a knife somewhere too. I dropped it, but just take my word for it. I made a big Bowie knife for him. So there he is. Let me stand him there with his wagon, and then we'll call it a wrap for Deadpool. Excuse me. Yeah, good enough. All right, there he is. We'll zoom out a little bit. Deadpool with his wagon of stuff, and the cat who is looking at Deadpool menacingly. Don't knock him down or something. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.